Final one, Jimmy.
Yes. So final one. So now that the NBA season is over, concluding with the Lakers championship, now we look ahead to next season. And reports, one thing that's been substantiated is that the NBA draft is going to be on November 18th, which is most likely a Thursday, like it always is. And the rumor is the next season is going to begin around MLK, maybe sometime that weekend. So we're talking mid-January. And they're going to go all the way through to June for a full 82-game season. So under these circumstances, it's questionable really for any sport as to whether or not they should play the full slate of games that they would normally play or try to shorten the season. So my question for you, Jay, is it a bad idea, a good idea, or a great idea for the NBA to try to do a full 82-game season that would conclude in June?
So I think it is a good idea. If they're trying to conclude it in June, that's when they normally would conclude, except for it would be late June instead of early June.
And then playoffs.
The season would end in June.
The regular season.
So the playoffs are not going to end again until like August, like it did last time. Oh, God. Well, it tells me one thing. The Olympics aren't happening this year, next year.
I didn't even think about that.
Because if there's anything that the NBA will definitely do, it will make sure that the season plays around the Olympics. It will make sure the season ends early enough to where they can all go from June, take a breather, and then in July go and play in the Olympics. So that tells me they must know something about the Olympics not happening, because that's something that we always are represented in. But I think if that's the case and they know the Olympics aren't going to happen, I think it's a good idea. I mean, you need a full season. The better idea would be to just condense it and go with a 50 to 60 game season and just bite the bullet on it a second year in a row and give us some good entertainment. Okay. I know you've got all three.
Yeah, all three. I can see it working out in certain ways. Obviously, I'd like for the great idea to take place, but I think it's a bad idea if it forces you, in virtue of ending in August, to push your season back further. I don't think they really want to do that, to be thrown off their schedule when I know they had to this season because of what happened in the middle of the season. But now it seems like they would be in a position to not have to do that if what you said takes place, where they actually condense the season in order to fit it into the typical timeline. So if it ends up having to push that next season back and then that next season and then that next season, it would look like a bad idea. It would be a good idea because playing the full 82, at least you get, we'll say, your full 82-game TV money, which they've lost, millions of dollars because of what happened with COVID.
Right.
So in order to try to recoup some of that or not be in the same position where you can't play all 82, it could be a good idea if you get your full 82 games worth of television for each team. It's a great idea if they play these full 82 games and somehow arenas can be at or near capacity at some point during the season. So at least you get some of that money that you didn't get, not only by shortening the games, but by playing in the bubble and not being able to have fans at least for those games. So it could be a great idea with that. And when you think about it, starting in January, it does a better job of getting you out of NFL real estate because the NFL owns the fall, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. So this, starting in January, would at least get you out of that to where you really are only up against Major League Baseball, and you can beat them. At least nationally, you can beat them. So that works. 55, 60-game season, they condense it. I think that works too. Me being a basketball fan, 82, I'm not going to be upset by that at all.
Oh, no.
But before the health of the league, whether it's 82, 55, or 60, obviously they got to do what the healthiest is for the league. But an 82-game season stretching to June and then beyond for your playoffs, that just doesn't seem like a good idea. None of this has been substantiated. It's just being talked about as a possibility. Right. But I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah. I'm not against 82 games. My problem is that once you do that, then you throw off next season as well. And then it's going to be another next season. Eventually, you're going to have either a shortened season or you're going to have to condense the off season and just grow right into the next year, which is not a good thing even for them as athletes and for their bodies. That's not a good thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, do you think it's a possibility that they could say, okay, we'll just accept this new norm and from now on we're going to start our seasons in January? Do you think that they might possibly do that in order to get away from competing with the NFL in October, November, and December?
No, I don't think that's a good idea. We are conditioned to really get into basketball, especially around December, because that's when the NFL season kind of teeters down. That's when things get slow, and then Christmas Day is the NBA's day.
Correct.
That's our day of literally 5 games, I turn it on first thing in the morning. I'm cooking while I'm watching the first game. I'm prepping dinner and laying things out during the second game. I'm eating during the end of the second through the third game. I'm napping about halfway to the end of the third game, going into the fourth. I wake up for the fourth for my second meal. And by the time the fifth hits, I'm eating my third meal, eating apple pie or sweet potato pie and some ice cream, and I'm just laying on the couch watching that, and then I'm passing out.
That is very detailed and thorough in terms of how your
Do you
Christmas
not
day goes.
have your your Christmas mapped out when it comes to food?
No, I think it's just you.
Ooh.
I think you are on an island unto yourself.
I thought that Thanksgiving was the day that Christmas and Thanksgiving, we kind of know how the
Thanksgiving maybe, but Christmas, no, I've never heard that before. So that's what makes you you, Jay.
Oh, well, okay.